honor and the pleasure to introduce you to somebody that is like a hero to me. Not like a hero. He is a hero to me. He's a hero. He's Jothy Rosenberg. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He is certainly a survivor in all the sense of the word. But also, not just that, but after survivorship, he has a PhD in computer science. He has founded about 8 startups in total. He has written multiple computer technical books. He has written also different memoir called Who Says I Can't, which I have, and he signed it for me the day that I met him actually at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. He is an amputee, and he also doesn't have, he's missing one lung from surviving cancer. And at a very young age when he was a teenager. And he is an inspiration to all of us. He has done more than 26 swims from Alcatraz. He has ridden from Boston to New York multiple times, and he'll tell us exactly how many times he's done that. And with you, and he's also a CEO of a very important startup in high tech, in software. He will talk to you about that, and I have the pleasure to introduce him to you. And I've been asking some special questions, and I learned a lot about survivorship, about endurance, about tenacity, about courage, and about strength in life to survive, and about legacy. So here with you, Jothy, thank you so much for agreeing to this amazing interview for my audience. How are you doing?
Well, thank you, Neni. I'm doing great. And it's been real pleasure to get reconnected with you after you had to come over to the States and then kind of got stuck here, but now you're making the best of it. And so you're closer. That's great. It's been great to be reunited. I mean, you're still on the other side of the country from me. I'm in Boston, and you're in LA, but still, it's nice to know you're here.
Yes, it's nice to be in the same country again. We've really become friends over the years. I brought him to Paris for a special TED Talk that you can still find on the internet. Go find him, Jothy Rosenberg, and on YouTube. And it's amazing, that TEDx Talk, and also about the book. So, Jothy, I wanted to ask you a question. The first thing I wanted to ask you is, I know that you have done, tell us a little bit about what you've done to survive. You've survived so many things. You first had cancer, and then you suffered, you had to be amputated for one leg. And then later on, you had to survive because cancer came back, and another lung had to be removed. And you have endured so much. Tell us why is it important for you to have so much, to give so much, and leave a legacy?
Well, there's for some reason there's a quirk in my personality maybe where when I had to figure something out the hard way, afterwards when I can look back on it, I've tried to figure out a way to deliver to other people things that I wish I'd had when I was figuring that thing out the hard way. And that includes figuring out how to rebuild my self-esteem after losing a leg.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tough age when you're 16 and you're in high school. That's a tough age anyway.
Yes.
And then to have to deal with this on top of it. And back then they didn't fit you with a prosthetic for 6 months, and this happened in January. So basically, I went through the whole rest of junior year without walking around school on crutches.
Mm-hmm.
I described the scene in the book because there between like in any high school, between classes, the main hallway would get packed wall to wall with kids. But when I came along, it was like people were jumping over each other to get out of the way, like I was parting the Red Sea. But no one would talk to me. I mean, that wasn't. It was tough. But the point of it was really how do you get your self-esteem back? Gloria Steinem, famously said, "It's not that self-esteem is everything; it's just that there's nothing without it."
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. You can't live. Humans can't live a healthy, happy life without good self-esteem. I mean, if you think about it, as your self-esteem really degrades, it gets extremely dangerous. So you got to get that back. And I had to figure out a way to get it back. And then I decided, I should explain that to people. So that's what Who Says I Can't is about, partly. And then it's what my foundation is about. And so it's all about maybe short-circuiting some things that I figured out that I can help other people figure out faster.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you because that's exactly the same feeling I had when I survived cancer. I wanted to share my lessons with other people. All my life, whenever I moved, I migrated from Venezuela to the United States. I wanted to share how I succeeded at migrating. When I launched my business, my music business career, and people started to see my success, I wanted to share how you do that, how you promote yourself as an artist. When I survived cancer, the same thing. People ask me, how did you survive? How did you recover? And that same feeling, and that's why I founded, I launched my business career as a coach, because I wanted to help others live their dreams just like I had lived mine. And I don't have a foundation like you. I always dreamed to have this in my big dreams to create a foundation for cancer, but there's so many foundations for cancer that I might as well just build whatever and donate it, right? So I was donating to the cancer research of the surgeon that did my surgery, actually. So all the music money that I was receiving, I was directly donating to Dana-Farber. But it's so important because, what we learn, we're here to serve, and whatever we learn in this life is for others to see and learn as well. And I think you're right on point. I totally 100% have the same feeling. So I think a lot of people that have gone through difficult times in life always have that feeling that they want to share. They want to help others because they appreciate every day much more than before. Now you touched on. You didn't touch about sports. So how can you tell? I know the stories, but I know my audience doesn't know the story. How did you start moving into sports to gain that self-esteem and to recover and to restart your life?
Well, this is really a case of taking very small steps, and I don't mean that literally, but small steps conceptually in recovering. And I actually think it's a mistake for people to set too aggressive a goal when they've been knocked down so hard.
Yeah.
So literally, when I healed up enough, then I was getting around on crutches. Like I said, the prosthetic leg was at least 6 months away. And my parents said, hey, look, the dog needs to walk every day. You need to spend more time getting used to crutches. Why don't you be the one that's doing that every day? And so I go out with my dog. We go to these places that are not just flat. And then we started, there's little hills. These are tiny, but my arms started getting stronger, and I started thinking, wow, maybe I should try going on longer, bigger walks on crutches. And then, that summer we went to Maine, and we went to Mount Desert Island. And I don't know if you've been there, anybody, but
I haven't.
But the hills there are quite large. And I climbed them as a kid, a younger kid. And so I set off on a mission to climb every single one of the mountains on Mount Desert Island. Now is when it started to, this is when I started figuring out, I'm going to have to figure out some adaptations because I would come back from one of these hikes and I would have blisters on my hands. And I would have rubbed raw under my arm.
Right.
And so I put moleskin here. I discovered that gloves don't stop blisters. Only sports tape stops blisters.
Wow.
It can't rub. And now I could go 3, 4, 5 miles. And that lesson stuck with me. But the next one was the most important sport to me because I'd grown up skiing from the age of 5. Was skiing. And so I insisted to my parents actually I said earlier that the amputation was in January, and in March I insisted that they took me out skiing. Well, a lot of people have probably seen these what look like a forearm or Canadian crutches with ski tips on them. They're called outriggers. Except that in 1973, they had not been invented. So I was skiing with pointy poles, which is bad if you lose your balance and you stick a pointy pole in the snow and you're still moving. You're going to fall down anyway. And the other problem is, and for the audience that are skiers, we say in skiing that you steer with your big toe. You don't steer with your little toe. So I have a left leg, which means that doing the right turn is steering with my big toe. But the left turn is very clumsy at first. And so what happened on that day that they took me out there, and at my insistence, was that I would basically start off and I would turn to the right and then start trying to turn to the left and fall. And it would be turn, fall, turn, fall. And over and over again. My parents said to me afterwards that they were sorry they'd made such a big mistake, that I must be humiliated and horrified. And they said, so how do you feel about it? And I did a fist bump. I got this. Because what was clear to me was okay, so this is hard, but it's not impossible. And I've got a lot of work to do to retrain my body and my brain how to turn left and use the little toe. And it took a few years, maybe 3. And within 3 years, I was a double black diamond, one left here.
Yeah, you were. Now you can ski any mountain. You can ski any mountain. Yeah. So it took perseverance. It took courage to show yourself in a vulnerable situation. And at the same time, it took a mindset to say, "Who says I can't?" It's not true that you can't do anything. Anything.
So then, and this is going to kind of be surprising to some people. But then I started to figure out, actually, there's some advantages to this. I can't cross my tips. And
that's right, because you don't get stuck. Yeah, I know. Yes.
The way in which most accidents happen to two-legged skiers is they cross their tips.
Right.
So I don't have that problem. The other thing is that I can actually ski steeper, narrower runs than people on two skis.
Of course.
Because you can actually turn one ski quicker. So you
can't compete with the pros because you are actually at an advantage, even though you have something less.
Well, the hardest thing about skiing, and there's no getting around this, is that it is so tiring on one leg.
Yeah.
And that is always been and always will be, a challenge. Because there's just so much that you're muscles and
engages,
to engage. Can do. My leg is in very good shape. I mean, I ride long distance bike rides, but skiing is just very hard on the leg.
Takes everything, takes every muscle, every fiber on your body to balance, to turn, to go down. Yeah, so it's in life. I think in life it's the same, right? Like we have to take sometimes in the hard moments when we're in the most vulnerable, we're learning something new. It takes every single fiber of us, but we actually can do it. If we insist and we take the time, you took the time, you had the courage, you believed in yourself, and your parents believed in yourself as well. And so you pushed. So it takes one person to believe in you, to actually know that you can do it, and they trusted you, and they acknowledged your idea and your effort to want to do it, to want to try it, because it takes maybe sometimes we want to try something, and we're afraid of trying. But if somebody says you can't do it, you try. I mean, it just takes a try, and it doesn't mean that you're going to get it all of it like the same day, the first day. It takes some effort, it takes time, and it takes work. And it takes all your energy, but it is possible to do it. That's a great it's a great story. And so sports became so important because you've done whitewater rafting. What is it? The level 4?
Yeah.
Class 4, whitewater is incredible to manage the balance there with one leg. You've swam Alcatraz 26 times.
Yeah.
I mean, who has done that in the world? Like nobody.
Most of the people that are on the boat with me, and everybody's always asking, how do you do this? And most of the people are first year. For most people, it's a checklist item. It's a bucket list thing. And then they find out that I, usually because my buddy tells them that I've done it 26 times, and they think I'm crazy, actually. Why would you do that? You only need to do it once, and then you prove something. But here's the thing. For me, things like that are almost like a pilgrimage.
Yes.
Because it is not at all like I can forget that I have one leg. You're reminded all the time.
Exactly.
Up and down stairs. I'm in the basement right now. Up and down stairs. Just even to go to the bathroom, you're on crutches, and you have to think about it. And lots of little things are challenging. And it doesn't matter. It's not like, you've conquered it, and you can carry 2 glasses of wine on your crutches. Well, you know what? You got to be careful, because that's hard to do. So going out there, and every year it's hard, and accomplishing it again is very much a recharging of the batteries.
Right.
So it is a pilgrimage.
Yes. I feel it.
The feeling I get, and I hope this doesn't come across as in any way obnoxious, but I love nothing more when I'm skiing than seeing a group of two-legged people. I call them two-leggers.
Yeah.
Across the brink of a hill, and I like to go by them really fast and right down the brink, that they're standing, contemplating how to ski. So doing that and beating a number of two-leggers in the Alcatraz swim, it's a bigger thrill for me than probably, for anyone else, you want to win your age group and everything, but, for me, being able to swim faster than all these two-leggers is...
And it's not just two-leggers, but two lungers.
Well, that's true, too.
Because you have one leg, but you have also one lung. So it's not just, and in the swim, it's not the same as outside skiing that you can breathe the air. You're in the water. You have to manage how to breathe with one lung. So you're beating the people with two lungs and two legs. Oh my God! And it's and the truth is, I've swam Alcatraz twice, and the reason I didn't go again is because the race actually they didn't have the race again after. I was trying to do the same one in August, and the race director couldn't schedule it again because of the regatta in San Francisco. It coincided with the dates, so I've been waiting for that to open again, and it didn't happen. It was going to go last year, and it didn't happen either. So every single time that you do it, there's 26 times, they're all different, aren't they?
Oh yeah, the conditions are so different.
Conditions are different. It's like a new race.
Right. It is, and this is why compared to any other event that I do, any other swim or bike, it's the most mentally demanding.
Yes.
I mean, as you know, there's a narrow opening that you have to get to, and yet there's a strong current.
Yeah.
But when you're in a huge body of water that's moving, you can't tell how fast it's moving. So you have to navigate very carefully because that body of water is moving past the opening faster than you can swim. So if it takes you too far down,
you're under the sharks.
You're going out underneath the Golden Gate and on your way to Japan.
Yeah, shark meat. You're shark meat, but that
no, worse actually than that is that you're going to get picked up by a boat.
Oh yeah. Yes. You're under you do the swim of shame. In kiting, kitesurfing, we would say we do the walk of shame when we are learning, but in that case, they would be picked up and be in the swim of shame, picked up with the boat. The first time I did it in 31 minutes, and the second time I did it in almost an hour. That was so different, the condition, and it was just horrendous. Like the wave.
Whoever told me that you did it in 31 minutes, that's a darn good time.
Yeah. And I was surprised myself. I'm like, oh my God, like 31 minutes? That was the first time. I didn't know I was good. I just didn't know I was good. I didn't know.
See, so you didn't know you were good, and then you thought you were good, and then you took an hour. What the heck?
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I was struggling. I was really struggling. The washing, it was like a washing machine that day. The wind was like howling, and it was very choppy. And I was actually, my heart rate was, I had more anxiety. So I couldn't swim, like I couldn't relax to swim. Like a steady stroke. I was stopping and calming down and then starting again, and then I would get anxiety again. I think I was scared of seeing something dark under me. I was the wind. It was really scary the second time. And I was more protected. I had a neoprene like all the way here. The first time I did it like sleeveless, my wetsuit was sleeveless. I didn't have booties. I just had the hat neoprene because the head was needed to be warm. But the second time I had the head neoprene, I had a long sleeve wetsuit, I had the booties, and I was cold and it was so different. It was so different. And I can't wait to do it again, actually. It's like you said, it's really like a pilgrimage that you feel like you put in your body to test again, to see if what is it about this, us cancer survivors or us people that want to test to make sure that, like you said, we're charging the battery, but we want to make sure that our strength is there, our courage is there, that our physical body is capable of surviving that. What do you think it is about that?
Well, that is precisely the question I tried to answer in my TEDx talk. And I do have a theory that what comes naturally to people that go through something like this, and it could be, they're a polio survivor. That has been studied. It could be, someone like Michael J. Fox who's dealing with Parkinson's, or what you had, which no one who looks at you now has any idea you ever had cancer. For me, it's a tiny bit more obvious. But so I kept finding all of these people being overachievers. And I was really, really curious about why. And so I started to dissect it in myself and started to read about it, about polio survivors in particular. And what I started to see was that there's these three traits which kind of come naturally to people in this situation. One is it's really insecurity or humility, but I think insecurity is a better word for it. And of course that comes naturally. It's like, well, you've been beaten down, or you've got a physical disability, and maybe people stare at you, and so you're naturally somewhat insecure. Now, it turns out, as I'm going to explain, insecurity is not always such a bad thing. The second thing, which is going to sound really strange, is exceptionalism. And exceptionalism, when you put it together with insecurity, creates a dynamic that is, really valuable. And it works like this. You make a small amount of progress. You're insecure, so as soon as you make a small amount of progress, you feel really great about yourself. You feel exceptional. It's all relative, right? You're not exceptional in a broad sense, but man, you are for yourself. But the insecurity is still there. And you keep wanting to sort of, insecurity, of course, is creating self-esteem issues. And that doesn't feel good. But here's the secret weapon that makes it all work. And that is discipline. When you have a physical disability and you are driven to overcome it, I mean, it's really driven. And the discipline is going to, make you, all right, I took that nice little step, now I need to go further. And you set the next goal, and you accomplish it. So this set of three things is what I think leads so many people who've gone through some sort of life knockdown to basically overachieve, excel.
This is very interesting what you say, because I think one of the things that I teach with my coaching is when they set up the goal is to set up a discipline. Like I instill in my clients a sense of, you have to do this every single day. You have to do this routine, establish a routine, and do it every single day to achieve any kind of results. And like you said, small steps, just something that you can achieve that you cannot say no to it. And I get results in myself and my clients. And when I did the Alcatraz, I was swimming 1 mile. I was swimming half a mile in P-Bay, in Southie. I was swimming half a mile several times a week. I was swimming 3 times a week in Walden Pond, in Mystic Lake, 1 mile. Every morning at 4 a.m. I would wake up every morning. I would go with the team. We would bike from the center where Wheelworks. We would bike to the pond, to the Mystic Lake, and then we would swim 1 mile and we would bike back. And it was a training 3 times a day at 5:45 in the morning. And then I went to work, and it gave me a sense of accomplishment, a sense of strength, a sense of vitality, and I was already had an amazing workout. I went to work at 7 and I finished at 5. I went home, and then after that I would run to the choir rehearsal, sing the choir rehearsal for 2 hours in rehearsal, and then go perform or dance with my team 3 times a week. And it just gave me a sense of like, I am Superwoman. People call me crazy, absolutely crazy. Of course, my body and my health benefit from all that, and your body and your health benefit not only in that time, but this is benefiting us right now with this thing that we're living around. We're strong. We know what to do. We have the discipline. That we know what to eat. We know how to take care of our health. We want to live longer, and we are very responsible with our health. And doing sports is one way that at least the both of us have achieved a change in our body that makes us kind of feel invincible, like you said, like that sense of excellence, maybe that insecurity of whatever was going on in our lives before, and then the drive to have the decision to be disciplined in whatever we do every single day. Yeah, it's a wonderful, it's very interesting what you're saying. And leading, so I know that this is, when you do sports, you have an amazing life, but most of all, I'm very impressed, and always, of course, we're both engineers. You lead, you're the CEO of a software company in Massachusetts, and I was working as a software engineer. We have so many things in common. We share the Alcatraz swim, we are cancer survivors, we are engineers, we love sports, and we love to give. And so can you tell us, the audience, because there's a lot of business and entrepreneurs that are listening to this all over the world, in the 7 continents. So for them, how would you say that these lessons of survivorship, discipline, courage, and sports have influenced how does it influence your decisions as a CEO? When some challenge happens as a CEO, how do you think all these things that you've lived have influenced it? How does it change your decisions in your business?
One of the things that is true of any CEO, but maybe more so, probably more so with a startup CEO, is that you're faced with decisions that you have to make without all the information. You're going to have incomplete information. If you wait for all the information, it may be too late to make the decision at all. And so for that, you have to have courage. You have to have a lot of self-awareness of what you're capable of. You have to believe in yourself that you're not always going to make the right decision, but more often than not, you're going to make the right decision. And of course, there's the issue of needing to be a risk taker. I mean, you can't be a startup CEO without being comfortable being a risk taker. And not necessarily in such a healthy way, but early on. When I started being a risk taker, it was because when the cancer had spread to the lung, and they detected it because they checked me for that every 6 months, and I thought that was just pleasing my parents. I thought it was silly, because once you're 19, you think you're immortal. Even after you've been through something, you still fundamentally humans of 19 think they're immortal. And then suddenly the test showed that it had come back. And it was the same bone cancer, but bone cancer, when it gets into the bloodstream, spreads to the lung. But my doctor said to me after I recovered from that surgery that I had zero chance of survival. Because no one had ever survived that when that particular cancer spread. And that's because the chemotherapy hadn't been invented before. And it was just now coming out from Dana-Farber, which is why I give to Dana-Farber a lot. And it is truly it is almost a psychological disability. It's almost like having a third one. There's the visible one. That's the leg. There's the invisible one. That's the lung. And then there's the psychological one, which is the chip on the shoulder, or whatever you want to call it, that says you're gonna die any time now. And so I became kind of a ridiculous risk taker at that point. Because so what? Who cares? And I got it mostly out of my system. Luckily, before I got married and had 3 kids.
Luckily for your wife.
Yes, and we've been married 40 years. Yeah. And she still thinks of me as a risk taker, but it's nothing compared
it's
to
relative. Yeah,
that I
everything's
was
relative.
doing. I mean, I took a, so you know how, the wind can be in the ocean. And up in Maine, I took a sunfish out 10 miles out into open water. It is a dumb thing to do, honestly. So, but I was just doing stuff like that all the time. Well, that attitude, in a smaller way, prevailed and kind of turned me into an entrepreneur. And I kind of like living on the edge. It's still sort of a drug to me to drive these startups.
Yeah. I think my family still doesn't understand that, and I have had the same feeling. I want to risk it all and go all in, and if I lose it all, what's the worst that could happen? You lose it all, you build it up again. It's okay. Yeah, it's important. Risk is so important in entrepreneurship and in business, because if you don't risk, you don't gain anything. And a lot of the big, successful companies, even Nike. I was just reading again, listening to the Shoe Dog book from the CEO from Nike, the story about Nike, and it's without the risk that he took, it was impossible, to have Nike come out successful. All the different companies in the world, without a risk, without putting all your bets out there, you cannot succeed. I dropped my corporate job as well, to be online coaching and for life and business on marketing and branding, and nobody had done that in 2015 near me or anybody that I knew, but my family called me crazy, and how you're going to leave that software company that's giving you a six-figure salary. But I'm like, no, it's living life. It's like you said, I think, so knowing that you can die, and that you can die at any moment anyway, that you can be 14 and get cancer, you can be 19 and get cancer again, and they can say you're going to die in 1 year, you're going to die in 5 years. They told me certainly in 2004 that I was only going to live 1 year. They said, no, this is the life expectancy is 1 year, it comes back to the neck and then you're dead. And then when I survived after a year with the same, X-rays, checking the lungs every year, they said, oh, well, now that you survived 1 year, well, yeah, you have the life expectancy is 5 years. And after 5 years, I was like, well, I'm still not dead. So like you finish college, and then you finish a PhD, and you were still making the most out of every single second of your life, because you don't know when it's going to be taken out of the rug under your feet. And now with the pandemic, it's sort of happening. We have something in common with the whole world. They just removed everything, and now everybody has to stay home and work from home, no jobs, and very, very difficult times that we're all sharing this moment together. We're kind of linked now with this pandemic, and then we know that now that everything is taken from us, like social life and shopping or going to some place that we want, no freedom. We feel the need now, we're desperate, like we want to go out, we want to see people, we've appreciated the value of doing things. Oh, I didn't travel here, I didn't travel there, like all the different things that we should have done. Well, we as survivors and entrepreneurs and risk takers, we always are thinking of where can we go? Extreme, what can we do? And thank God we've lived that way, because now we appreciate and we can say, we have the tools. Now you're suffering this, well, we have the tools. The next time you have to do this, and you have to do, doesn't matter. Like, just go on there, go online. There's your doggy, and go online and launch whatever idea you want. Be bold, take a risk. This is the best moment to be fit at home. I mean, tell the audience how you've been remaining fit.
Oh, it's really, I mean, this is working out great. It's hiking out in the woods 2 miles, 4 days a week. All summer I was swimming in Walden Pond, which is 1.25 miles, 3 times a week. Now I've just switched that to the pool. I use a rowing machine, and I bike once a week right now.
Yes.
staying as fit as ever. And because I got all that commute time back, I'm not cutting into my, work time. So
Exactly.
it's great.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Like, there's some people that are they're actually laying down their bed and just watching Netflix and just relaxing and everything. But when you appreciate life, when you know what it is to be in a hospital recovering, and now you have all this time, and you're kidding me, like I don't have to drive somewhere, I have to stay home, and I have 20 more minutes to go on a row in my row machine, or go on a 2-mile hike. It's incredible. So we appreciate that, and we take advantage, and we just use it. How come we didn't cross paths in Walden Pond? I was swimming in Walden Pond every other day, 2 miles this summer too.
Well,
before I left. Which days were you going?
I was going Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Thursday, one day on the weekend. But I was going in where the handicap parking is, over by the boat ramp.
I parked there. That's where I was parking. Not allowed, but I was doing it.
Well,
I didn't hear you. But I was going at 4 a.m. I was going before the sunrise.
Oh.
I
wasn't doing that.
Yeah. I was going at sun. I was the first one in the water. Was with another person. You probably will find his name is Sherman. You probably know Sherman. He's 80 years old, and he does triathlon, and he swims in Walden Pond every day that he can, and he goes there at dawn. And he is a Harvard and Oxford professor, friend of mine, also over there, and so we're swim buddies. I met him at the triathlon. There's some noise outside. So we were going together every morning, every other morning for 2 miles. We would swim 2 miles, Walden, and come back. I did that like right before I left. So
that means you were going down to the end, back, and then down and back again.
Yeah, we were going twice.
If you do the circumference,
the circle,
right along the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I found that to be a good workout. That's a mile and a quarter.
That's a mile and a quarter, yeah.
And it's really easy to do even in the fog or anything, because you can see the land.
You can see the land, yeah, because you don't get lost. Yeah, I was doing that. I had some anxiety the first times because it's so dark. There's nobody there, and there was. It's like you said, it's like, why do I do this thing? Like, I wanted to do it. I want to do Walden Pond. I've done that, but I wanted to do it in the dark. Like, it was the moon was there, and you see the whole sun rising. It was unbelievable. You should do it one day, like in the dark, all the way. It's beautiful.
Was the gate open?
Yeah. We go at 4:30 in the morning.
And they've got the electronic lock, and you could open the gate.
No, the gate is open. I was able to get in.
Huh.
Yeah, you can do it. I did it.
Okay.
So he said, you're supposed to do that.
From where I'm sitting, it's exactly 5 miles.
Oh, great. So you can do that. So I went at 4:30 in the morning. Well, that was in August, of course. Now it's a different time. But right at dawn, and the pond is still. And you see everything. Sometimes there's fog, sometimes there isn't, and it's scary because it's like a dark thing. And I think my biggest fear with open water swimming is the darkness in the bottom. Like ocean doesn't scare me for some reason. I could see below, but lake is so scary for me. So I needed to do it to force myself to overcome that fear. It's really hard. It's really hard for me. Like the fear gets my heart racing, and I can't swim straight. But the ocean, the waves, I don't know. I'm not scared.
Walden is too cold even for a wetsuit anymore.
Right now?
Oh yeah. I mean, we had. These mornings it's like 20 degrees, 25 degrees. So basically below 50 degrees is. You start to get a really serious ice cream headache, even with the wetsuit on.
Well, maybe that's what happened in that Alcatraz, because it was 54 the second time. It was very cold. It was 54. I remember that Alcatraz was so much that Boston used to be colder, like in the P Bay, but Alcatraz was really cold. Like when it's cold, yeah, it's hard. But yes, it's a beautiful thing what we can push ourselves, because that definitely drives into our business, that drives into our decision making, and the risk that we take to see if something happens. Otherwise, we don't take a risk, like staying in the same, something that works, something that you know is going to give. Yeah, you can stay there for some time in a business, but then once you put some risk in it, then you can see it really, really grow. And the worst that can happen is just recover. But that's very important. So one last thing, Jothy, just to wrap up here. Can you tell the audience where can they find you? Where is the foundation? Where can they go in the foundation to donate to your causes? Who Says I Can't? Where can they get the book? And talk a little bit about what you're doing right now. Is there any events that you want to tell?
Great. So it is called the Who Says I Can't Foundation, and it does have a website, and it's pretty self-explanatory website. It's at Who Says I Can't. That's no spaces, no punctuation. WhoSaysICan't.org. It's a .org. So there's a place. There's a little store where you can buy the book. And if you buy the book from me, I autograph it. If you buy the book from Amazon, no. And we're also doing a little bit of a fundraiser. There's a donation page there too. If you just want to make a donation, that's great. And I'll tell you in a minute what we use the money for. So we typically at this time of year, usually first week of November, we do an in-person fundraiser right here on Boston Harbor. And we typically raise $25,000 each time. That's our major fundraiser of the year. This year we can't do an in-person one. So what we and I had to use the word "can't" there because we really can't. They won't let us. We're not able. But what we did instead, or what we're doing instead, is that we created these little packages. There's 3 different packages of cool things. There's one that's a hat, scarf, and socks that say "Who Says I Can't" on them. Nice little warm things. And that could be a present to someone's self, or that they could give to people. There's a water bottle with sea salt chocolates, and then there's a third one which is some sort of things that say "Who Says I Can't" on them. Cheese, crackers, and a cutting board. These are all available. You can see them all on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Who Says I Can't. Again, all one word, no punctuation. What we do with the money, the purpose of the foundation is that, again, what I learned the hard way is that some of the sports that you want to do, you need some sort of adaptive equipment for. So, for example, on my bike, there's next to the seat, there's on the right-hand side where I have a stump, there's a small socket that even with my bike shorts on, I can put my residual limb in, and it balances me out, and it allows me not to sit. It makes it so I don't have to sit just on my left butt cheek for a huge long ride, which is, it's bad enough on our butts for if you have, full butt. Half a butt.
Yeah.
So adaptations like that, and you don't run as an amputee. You don't run with the same leg that you go to work in, or you go to the store in, that you're walking in. Unfortunately, insurance companies believe that all they're responsible for is getting you walking again. And that's not enough. That's not what's going to rebuild your self-esteem. And so what we do is help people get that equipment, whatever it is. What sport is it that you want to do? You want to row? You want to sail and yet you're paraplegic? We'll get you sailing. We'll get you the equipment for biking. We'll help you out with. We've helped somebody out who she lost her leg below the knee, and she was a hot snowboarder. And the normal prosthetic wouldn't hold right with that twisting motion that she has to do. And so this phenomenal prosthetist that I use for all this work, who was himself a Paralympic skier, and he's a master at fitting and materials, and he got her a comfortable leg that won't allow the twisting to occur. So just anything that people can think of, we'll try to figure it out and get them what they need. But it's not cheap. And we only, partly because I'm still running a startup, I'm not working on the foundation that much. We're only helping 2 people a year. When I retire, I'll put a ton of time into this foundation.
Yeah. To help more people getting back on sports, and you've helped some of the Boston Marathon victims from the bombing, right? You helped some of them. I do have, if you want, I do have the page here with all the things. I can share my screen if you want, so I can show the different goodies. That you want me to share the screen so that they can see the goodies?
Yeah.
I'll share my screen. Here it is. So you can see here.
So that first package is a scarf, hat, socks.
Yep.
That's a nice little warm package. Then there's the cutting board, cheese, sausage, with a nice, canister that says can.
Yeah.
And then there's the water bottle, and so the water bottle is sort of a little bit hidden, but that's a water bottle on the left and sea salt chocolates. Then we have socks, extra socks, so you can buy all 3 packages.
And
of course, we have masks. Yeah.
And the hoodie, and you have umbrellas, and hats, and sweaters, and the book, and the bike jersey, and everything. Yep. Definitely. There's a lot of things that if you want to donate something, if you want to help, you can go to whosaysIcan't.org, and you can get any of that, his book, his goodies, and then you'll be running around everywhere when you go out with the mask. Who Says I Can't? And that would be awesome.
A lot of people they think it's a nice statement.
Yes.
And it is, and it makes a statement. And a lot of people want to make that statement. I mean, it's very
empowering
to everybody. And everybody has some reason that they occasionally have self-doubt and think, I can't. And so having, stuff that says, who says I can't around, here the thing I drink my drinks out of. And on the back side it says choose can, which is kind of a double.
It's great. Like what you do, Jothy, is really amazing. I mean, you're so young, you're so full of energy, you're so full of encouragement for everybody that listens to you. When I listened to you the first time, I was completely moved at Dana-Farber. I avoided going to Dana-Farber's speeches because I was really scared of facing all the cancer survivors, and I was invited to that reunion that they used to do it every year, I suppose, but that was my first one, and that's when you were there, and that was the year that I was going to do my first Alcatraz, and it was so inspiring. Here it is, a person that has survived so many struggles that are nothing compared to what I had survived, just the tongue surgery, and the next surgery, you went through amputation, you went through surgeries, lung to remove a lung, you went through chemotherapy, which I didn't go through, and you were a teenager. So it's just really a lot of challenges in your life that made you an amazing, inspirational hero for me. And that's when I heard you, I was like, oh my God, I need to talk to this person. And I got your book and you signed it. I was really, I kept it with me. And in all these years, I don't know, I think maybe that was 2009, actually. I think it was 2009 or 10, yeah.
It could have been 10 because actually the book was published in 10.
Yeah, so 10, yeah, I think it makes sense because 9 is when I started the triathlon, and 10 was when I felt stronger to do some major things. So that makes sense that I was doing the triathlon. Yeah, that one, the Alcatraz the next year. Yeah, I became obsessed, and I was doing one triathlon every month or two. It's crazy. You can see the medals right there, like all different things. You're such an inspiration for me, and I hope that the audience, got inspired, got some courage. And if you have any questions at all about this, please send me a message, send Jothy a message through his website. If you want to partner with him, if you want to donate big, we'll talk to him. What is the best way to contact you? Through the website or through Facebook or an email or a phone number?
I would say actually email. It's very easy. It's just Jothy at whosaysican't.org.
Perfect. Fantastic, Jothy. I really appreciate you coming for this interview. I know that my audience is going to love you. If you like this interview, if you have like this show On the Road to Success, well, like and share, click on the button, share it, ask question, comment, and share the wisdom and the beautiful message that Jothy has to say to the world. So thank you. Any last words you want to say to the audience?
Well, I just want to thank you, and I do hope this. I love it when I just help one person, and it's a strange thing has been happening as I'm raising some money for the company, and the people that are helping me raise this money have discovered that they encourage a new and potential investor to look at the TED Talk. And that has motivated them to want to invest. And I never even thought of the connection.
Oh my God. So you just told me that from the beginning. I didn't know you were raising funds for your business. I have all the money for you. I have it. Here, my investors will back you up. But when they listen to this, they're going to be absolutely amazed, and they will. Yeah, that's it.
And what my company is doing is actually going to help the world. We have a unique way to stop cyber attacks that's really working.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that you're in cybersecurity. I know that you were in cybersecurity. So fantastic. Well, this is so amazing. When you live a life of risk-taking and you live a life intensely and you feel grateful for life and you give to others, life gives back to you. So I am sure that you're going to have a flood of messages after this, and people are going to love it. And I'm so grateful for you too, for being my friend and for sharing your life and wisdom. Thank you.
Well, I want to just make sure everybody knows that the reason that TED Talk happened is 100% because of you.
No. Thank you.
You nominated me and cleared the way and welcomed me to Paris. It was fantastic.
Yes. I was working with the TEDx organization over there as a volunteer, and they asked me, do you know anybody? I said, of course I know, but my hero, Jothy, is the best. You need to have him here. And they accepted it. So I can't wait to hear all the different successes after this. And thank you so much for being so kind with your time. I appreciate your thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.